Hey everyone, welcome back to Carrots and Olives. I just wanted to pop on because I've been receiving such great comments from everyone, and it has been encouraging me to keep up my video content the past month and a half or so. And so I just want to say thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Keep the conversation going. Keep asking me questions. I am so thrilled about a recent comment. I think you know who you are. It was a woman in overseas, I think in Germany, and she had mentioned how she liked, it was an older video that I had created probably 2020, I want to say. But in this video, I had talked about all of my undyed leather goods, and she found it so helpful. And especially now because of inflation and just prices skyrocketing and shipping is just out the window. And you know, you want to make sure that before you buy the product that it is exactly what you're expecting. So I figured let's go back to some of my older products, or the products I bought a long time ago, back in 2019, 2020, leading up into 2022, and show you how it looks now after it's been used. Now all of these materials or all these notebooks, pretty much these leather goods, have I've been using constantly every single day, but I have used it. I will let you know which ones I used more than others. And yeah, so we'll just go through those, and hopefully it may be helpful to you, especially if you are someone who either likes notebooks that are that will patina over time, and those that you want to stay pristine and perfect. So I think that that is what this video is for, and I will share with you what I have. So let's do face down, top down video, and get started. Okay, so I do want to preface this video by saying that I'm going to do my best with giving you time frames and the leather names. I, at least for the most part, know where I got them from, and majority of the leather products I'm going to show you are in stock, or at least haven't disappeared. Like, you can, if they're not in stock where you can buy it right this instant, it's probably because they don't have any more at the moment, but they would get, these are like their current popular materials as of this video. So to start off with, I'm going to be going through pretty much my favorite types of leather color, which is mainly undyed and brown. So to get started, I'm not going to go in any particular order by brand or anything like that. But this one is my Sojourner, one of my favorite colors and favorite leathers from Sojourner, USA. And this is the Roadrunner. It has I'm trying to get the right color. Beep, beep, beep. Kind of hard to get the right color temperature, maybe closer. So this is a brown leather that has a red undertone. It marks up even when, and this one has been rolled. So you can roll it and you can see those beautiful striations. And even the inside has patinaed, the undyed leather. But this thing it's the perfect type of thickness in my opinion. And I find that although I do sometimes like the thin leather, this is the perfect like leather thickness that I prefer. So this is beautiful. It scratches up, and it's still pretty substantial leather. It hasn't like gotten too flimsy or anything. And I just looking at this makes me want to journal in a B6 slim. This is a B6 slim size, and it's just easy to hold in your hand and take on the go. I just haven't revisited a B6 this year, so something I need to look at possibly for next year, or maybe later on in this year. So I'm going to keep it off to the side so you can kind of get a color comparison of the next item, which is my Superior Labor. And this is the A5 size. And this is a chocolate brown. I think they just call it brown on the website. And you can get this from many sellers who are able to sell Superior Labor products. So I got this one from Bunkuhen. And actually, I take that back. I got this from another seller in Malaysia, I believe. And she had a amazing deal. I have a video on this leather, so that's on my channel. And you could check that out if you wanted to see me unbox it or talk about it a little bit more. But this leather can scratch up. However, for the most part, it does not patina. Superior Labor does have a leather that does patina, or let's say a leather color that does patina, and that's their undyed. But as for their chocolate brown, it does not. I have a couple more of their chocolate browns, which are pen cases. And you would think that I'm just in love with chocolate brown, but actually I really like undyed more than the darker brown. But the darker brown Superior Labor leather is one of those leathers that will definitely hold up to time and hardly scratch. I mean, there are some scuffs on here, but overall this leather is one of those tougher leathers that you can rely on, and will definitely make you happy over time, as you can probably feel how it's been used because it's just a tad bit softer and a little bit more flexible. It doesn't scuff up as much as like a roadrunner from Sojourner. Now this is also the brown, but this one is slightly pebbly. You can kind of see the texture in this leather, and I would say this one is hard to scuff up. It does not scuff, and it's quite a bit shinier than the others. It just can withstand a lot. I've had, out of these three, I have had this one the longest. Then I bought this from Wonder Pens in Canada. This one I got from Normandy, the shop, Nomado store. Then I got this one, and then I got this one. So you could see I've had this one at least a year and a half, almost 2 years, I would say. And this one probably a year and a half, and then this one about a year or so. They're just lovely products and lovely leathers. And you can kind of see the undertone here. This one's a little bit more red, and this one is definitely cooler. Chic Sparrow. This is a A5 Traveler's Notebook Chic Sparrow in the Earl Grey. And I did not realize how much I loved Earl Grey until right at the very end when they were discontinued, unfortunately. But they may have a leather now that is very close to this type of leather. I know they have different colors that of this leather, but Earl Grey was one of my favorites. The thing about the Earl Grey is that it does patina, and this right here was from heat. I think I had set this on a hot laptop. At the time, I'd always set it on top of my laptop, and it got, it almost seems like it got burnt, but it still looks really nice. And this is a very smooth leather, no pebbling whatsoever, but over time it does patina, as you can tell. So that one, in comparison to a Sojourner, this is more of a caramel brown. Kind of see that. And then compared to the dark brown from Superior Labor. Okay, so next, let's talk about another Sojourner product. This is the Getty leather from Sojourner, and this is one of my first of her pouches. I also have like a mailer pouch that I've showed in another video. This leather is very thin and flexible, and it has aged pretty well. It actually will scuff, but that's like if you really try to scuff it up. I've thrown this thing around. It has got some stains on it, like from some markers and things like that, but it's such a like thin but also really smooth and feel good leather, and then the inside is fuzzy, and that's always a nice bonus. So this one is a little bit I would say cooler. Yeah, it's a little bit cooler, and this one's a lot warmer. Now let's look at some of the undyed leathers that I have. This is my Eternal Leather Goods in the undyed, and this is a very like textured leather, and I did get this secondhand, but it wasn't used very long. I have one of the Hobonichi Techo for July to December of this year, just kind of hanging out in here. And it's very soft. They have the way that they cut the leather is very thin, and it reminds me of the way that the leather from Lacao is cut, very fine and thin, and they lay flat and they don't buckle or anything, but the craftsmanship is really nice, and then the little details here are just a bonus. This leather did take me for a spin because I thought it was a little bit more structured, but because the pockets are so thin, there's not much thickness, and it doesn't add as much thickness. So this thickness is typically what I would prefer over this one. And because this part is so thin, the cover is quite floppy. And so that, unless you put both of the cover of your notebook inside both slots, which is typically what I do, still the middle part of this notebook is quite floppy and not very sturdy to like write on if you're writing on your lap or on a bed or something. So I find that I haven't been using this as often, but the patina on it is gorgeous. And it has this really strong buckle that reminds me of like a boot buckle, but it's something I just can't. This little thin part just kind of gets to me. Okay, so next is Undyed from Gillio, and this is one of my favorite undyed leathers, and I think it's just the combination of the size, which is an A6, and just the leather itself. So it has gone through some things. I spilled quite some water on it, and I just wiped it down, and over time it just got darker on the side. And because you could tell that I keep this leather fit upright, that the back part doesn't get the patina as much. but you could see that when it does start to be patina, that even with some of these rolls in this part of the leather, it's just so beautiful. And this leather has softened and it is so smooth. I mean, so delicious. Looking at it makes me want to get an A6 notebook and just jump right in, start journaling. But I know I need to stop myself because otherwise I won't finish the notebooks I currently am using. But this one always come back to it. I always have like a notebook in here, whether it's an old notebook or a new notebook. And I don't put it away. I don't store it away. I just keep it somewhere nearby just because it's just gorgeous. And even the little tassels at the bottom has some patina on it as well. So you can see the difference between these two. Definitely Eternal Leather Goods uses a thicker stitch than Gillio. And of course Gillio has the straight edges. And I think that's one of the only products, except for one more, that has the straight edge. Okay, so the next one I want to talk about is my Bunkuhen in the B6 Slim. And this is the Bunkuhen and Superior Labor collaboration. And it's very identical to this one, but it doesn't have the, what do you call these? The buttons? I don't even know what you call these buttons on here. They do have an A5 size in this exact same look, but either way, they're both folded leather. So it's one piece of leather that's folded over, and this one just has these, whatever you call these. I don't even know what to call them. This was undyed, and it's definitely got some patina. The undyed from Bunkuhen is more pinky toned when you first get it, and then it starts to get its color over time, its patina, and starts to look a little bit more warm, warm brown. And this is the one I used all last year for my, planning. And I was gonna do it again, but then I decided to try something different, which is why I went into Traveler's Notebooks, just to switch it up. So another one that I want to talk about is from Lacao, and Lacao has some craftsmanship, is very unique, and he's very talented. And this was a already made item. He makes some really interesting, intricate, detailed work in his products. This is a trifold, and it has the brown stitching. It has the super thin pockets that don't bulk it up. You can see this pocket, it's not bulked up at all, and you could see a little bit of the patina. This is something I did. You could really see the patina here, and that's because it flaps, crosses over. This is, oh, and you can see it here too, where the strap would go across. It's really pretty. This one I haven't used that much. I got it, and then I got it at a time when I had purchased a few other things, and those other things overshadowed this one. So I need to revisit this. I didn't use it very long, but it seems to be patinaing even while it's sitting in my closet. So that's interesting to note. But this leather is so smooth, and it has all those pebbles, like pebbly on it. But it's so soft. It's so soft. This is the color I'm really excited to see when it patinas more. This one was more pinky toned, similar to Bunkuhen. They're pretty close, actually. Now it's starting to get this dark tan, really light caramel color, and that's one of my favorite colors when the leather gets to that. And speaking of Lacao, I did get the vintage tan. Sorry, I'm not quite sure what he calls this leather. I know it's something to do with undyed, but I can't remember if it's just undyed or if there's another name to it. But this is the vintage tan, which I talked about in my recent video. And this leather is just so delicious, and it's thick, and it has this beautiful feel. Like it's so pebbly right here, and then it's super smooth on the side. And it kind of reminds me of the Eternal Leather Goods, just a little. It's only that their pebbling is not as prominent as it is in here. All right, so what's next? I have some leathers from Galen Leather, and this one is their Crazy Horse Brown, which is very smooth. It's almost like the Traveler's Notebook camel. And let me show you. So this is my oldest Traveler's Notebook. It's the camel color. It's definitely got some patina on it. Oh my gosh, this is like almost the same. Almost the same. The feel is exactly the same as a camel. Everyone who has a Traveler's Notebook camel knows that the camel is the one that's a little bit more fuzzier than all the others. And this is almost identical in feeling. Galen Leather Crazy Horse Brown. No. I think it's Galen Leather Crazy Horse Vintage Tan. But you could see. Just gorgeous. Okay, so Galen Leather Crazy Horse. And then Lorton and Horn. And this is their zipper case. It looks like it's getting a little bit of blooms on it. You probably can't see it in the camera. But this one almost has a little bit of a fuzzy feel. You can kind of see the difference in the way that I smooth the leather out. It kind of changes. And this one's really nice. I just wish that they offered a like simple A5 cover that isn't a zip, because I think that their leather is right up there with everyone else's. It's just that their zip cover is very like sturdy. It's like they put cardboard within the leather, so it's just, you know, one of those types of covers. If you need something that is going to really protect whatever is you put inside of it, this is the way to go with this brand. This one is actually showing up a little bit. I feel like this is more red brown, but I guess you have to see for yourself. It's looking really a lot lighter than it is in real life. And so here is this is the Crazy Horse Honey Ochre. And just to correct myself, this is Crazy Horse Brown. Okay, so this is the Honey Ochre, which is the color that the notebook should get to if you have an undyed Galen Leather notebook. And for reference, here is my Galen Leather medic bag. Well, the Rider's medic bag. And this isn't in the undyed. This is in the Honey Ochre. My Honey Ochre has patina quite a lot, and it's this pretty kind of burnt pink color. But you could see how it used to look. I think it would take a long time for my undyed to get to this color, to get to the first original color, and then for it to get to this dark color. I don't know if that's even possible, but I can imagine it getting into the original color before it ever getting into, like, I don't think it would reach this darkness, but I guess you never know until time tells you. So that's what I have. If you have any questions about any of these products, let me know. I think I can show you some of my Traveler's Notebook colors. I mean, there's so many people that have Traveler's Notebooks, but just some comparisons between each. My second oldest Traveler's Notebook outside of my pocket or my passport Traveler's Notebook that I showed in my last video is this one, which is a brown. And I did paint it and get the Bunkuhen updates, Truly Yours customizations. And so this brown and this brown is quite different, actually. This is definitely a darker brown than the new Traveler's Notebook. The train, or the hotel, sorry, is definitely a darker brown than when I got the plain original brown. So just keep that in mind, that it's okay to get this one if you have another brown, because it's slightly different. So yeah, but I mean, and even as you kind of start marking this brown up, it has a really light caramel scratches on this leather, which is pretty unique. And even on the spine, you could tell how light it can get, which is really cool in my opinion. For those who may want to look at the blues are kind of hard to pick up on camera unless you have other colors around. They almost can look like black, but here is a black. So I'm not sure if you could really tell. I do think between the two blues, I feel as though they are pretty identical. If you already have a blue, this is the to and fro. And then this is the airplane new Traveler's Notebook. I think these are pretty identical. And then even the black, it's not, like the blue is so dark, it almost looks black. So this is black, this is blue, and this is the new blue. They almost look exactly the same. But anyway, that's pretty much all I have for you. There are a few others, but overall I pretty much touched on at least all the brands that I carry in my office or that I've purchased from, and then majority of the brown colors that I do have. And so if you have any questions, please let me know, and I hope this was helpful. If it was, please make sure to like, and if you want to just follow me and some of my my adventures into this journey of mine, then consider subscribing. All right, talk to you in the next one. Bye.